do a crouch, and oh, come on, guys, you're ruining my fun tip video, y'all. Hey everybody, welcome to this episode. This is going to be part 3 of an ongoing series on Grounded. So I'm going to be taking more questions from Reddit. This one's going to be, I'm not going to really show off the house or anything this time. This is going to be more just straight tips and stuff on how to do some things in the game or how to find some things. And most of these have been asked on Reddit, so I'm going to kind of go down through them and sort of fill them out for you. So the first question that has been asked the most is, where do you get floors and stairs? And it's going to be in this room, and you got to go talk to BURG.L. For some reason, my game has bugged, and I can no longer get in here or talk to him. I think what happened is we were playing a multiplayer game, or multiplayer version of the game with a friend of mine, and he hadn't got to that part, and we ended up not doing any of the stuff for him in my game. So now it's locked for me, which is strange, but, you know, it is what it is. So... yeah, I can't get to him to show you what he looks like, but he is in there, and it's going to be 1,000 science points. You'll also get the tracker there for the science, like orbs. I can't remember the exact name for him, but he sells that also. It's kind of debatable which one to go for first, but I would say if you can, go for the tracker first, just because it will give you the ability to find science points a little bit faster, and... at this point in the game now, I'm already back at 2,000 after spending 2,000 already on those first two. So they come by relatively quickly after a while. They're pretty slow going in the beginning. Just make sure to scan every new item before you use it for something. And try to make sure you do the quest with him every day, at least while you can. I found, actually, when you go into multiplayer stuff, you start a new character every time you go to somebody else's game. But then when you go back to their game, you still have everything you had the first time. And vice versa, when they come into your game, they'll have everything. But your character itself and all the stuff you have with you doesn't transfer to the next game, which is a little weird. I didn't expect it to play that way. Actually wasn't really sure how it was going to manage the inventory stuff, but yeah, it seems like every time you go to a different server, you're getting a new character. So it's a little weird. Hopefully they do some fix for that, or because if you could at least take your character and all the stuff that you have already in your progression, that would be great. But yeah, like your quests all reset, and then your science is reset and everything like that. So again, a little strange, but you know, it is what it is for right now. Okay, so this is gonna be the second thing. Weeds, which will be these plants here. As far as I can tell, they don't respawn, so that's something to keep in mind when you're using a bunch of wood sticks and stuff for plans and other things like that. And as it sits, I don't know if that's a bug or something, but they don't respawn anymore. You'll also notice that these ones specifically are in the water here. So I wouldn't, unless you can build around them some platforms and stuff to have them fall onto it. I wouldn't cut them down because you can swim. However, you can't pick these up in the water. So you can't carry them or anything. And if you're holding them and you jump in the water, you drop all of them. So there's no real way to get a hold of those. The only thing I could think of that I haven't actually tried is if you could build something underwater that you'd maybe be able to raise them up with if you're super desperate for them. But I don't think, yeah, it won't even let you map out a plan there. I wonder if you... huh. Yeah, I was thinking maybe you could trick it if you got low enough to be able to carry them out or whatever, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So yeah, so big tip on those, just don't cut them down for the time being unless you can build a full platform around them. But by that point, I feel like you used a lot of time and resources to get them where you might as well just look somewhere else. Though there are a ton of them over here. This area, though, is completely infested with spiders. So, you know, up to you if you really want to do that. Yeah, so one other thing I found that I didn't realize you could do, but you have an operating system for your map, or for your watch here, and you can change the themes for day and night, so whichever one you like. I've actually preferred this high contrast one. As you can see, it makes everything pretty bright around the bottom there, so all your icons and stuff are a little easier to see. I'll change it real quick though, just so you can see, like that. Not in there, changes it all to that. But yeah, something really neat I didn't realize was a part of the game. I also found these, I think either these three or these bottom two at least specifically, out in the world. They were like in a secret location. I found like a little watch on the ground and picked it up, and that was in there. So that's cool. I don't know if that's a spoiler or not, but something to look for, because they're really, really tiny. Like, they're even probably smaller than what's actually on your wrist. Which you can see that, but actually here it'll look just like that. Scab is what it's called, I guess. So here's another thing. So you can swim for sure. You can't really jump out of the water, and it's really hard to see. So I usually go into third person just so you have a better idea of what you're looking at. But you can't really jump out of the top there. So the only way I've really found out of this one is this log, which is it can be a bit iffy. Come on. So yeah, just so you know, you can swim, but you know, you just got to be careful in there. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys a fight with a Bombardier. I'm gonna give you a little strategy on those because they can be kind of a pain. All right, so what you're gonna want to do here is there's a bunch of different arrows that I've crafted. So I'm gonna hit him with a poison arrow first, and trying to get him with 2 at least, but. Alright, so he's stuck back there, which is good. So I'm going to hit him with that. I'm going to switch down to the gas arrows. Do the same thing. Gas arrows stack as well. So you can use a couple on there. I usually shoot a few in there. And then I'll go back in with another poison. And then go back to the regular. And to bring up that menu too, what you're going to want to do is just bring up the hit L. And that'll bring up your menu for all the crafting stuff. Or not the crafting stuff, but the different types of arrows. The good thing about arrows, though, is all of them, no matter what type, you can pick back up again. So I don't know if that's going to stay in the game that way, or if they're going to adjust that at some point. I actually really like the fact that they don't go away, mainly for the fact that they're not easy to come by. So it's really nice that they don't completely disappear whenever you fire them all off. I'll talk about this too briefly. So these are bounce pads you make with spider. I think it's rubber actually, and spruce or sprigs. But they get you pretty good height. I've used it to sort of just escape stuff. Like, you know, if say the wolf spider's been up here, I'll kind of run, jump, and then you have pretty good directional control in the air when you get off of that. So you can kind of just go straight to it. Yeah, so this is clay. You need a shovel to get it, and it makes clay floors and clay what is it, clay ramps, I think, and they work just about the same way as regular floors do. It's just a little harder to come by, but you'll find them almost always in these areas with a bunch of water. Almost always, if you see, I guess the easiest way to spot them is if you see a sprinkler like that one there, then they'll be pretty close by. So I'm going over here to show you guys how to get berries, because that's another big one, and yeah, this will give you that idea. I'd say the easiest marker to find berries is gonna just be to look out in the yard until you find that bird bath there, and that's the easiest indicator of where they're at or how to get to where they are. Or I guess if you look at the house itself, like there's the big oak tree. If you look across and see these bushes here, you can go up in the tree and get them and bring them to the ground. One of the easier things I found to do, though, is if you have the regular bow, I think it takes 2 shots, and this one may also take 2. Yeah. Or maybe that was just 1. I guess maybe the first one didn't hit.
Let there be light.
Yeah, so you also can't cancel an arrow. I don't know which I think is a little annoying, but okay. So the last thing I'm going to show you guys is going to be, I would say, a bit of a spoiler, I think, because it's kind of neat how you get it. So if you don't want to know that, I would tune off now. But so this is going to be how to get the mint hammer, so or the mint chunks to make that, which is, I believe, the only tier 3 weapon in the game right now. But as you can see, it is very good, and it is super strong. And I can't recommend it enough. So I'll take you over the way to get it. But you'll see it. You might have came across it on your map already. But it's gonna be this ice caps mints container right here. And all you really have to do is beat on the front of it with the insect hammer, which is this guy here, which is what you need berry leather for. So that's sort of why I wanted to show you that ahead of time. And then you do that to pop the cap open. You can open it with the pebble, but you can't do anything with it unless you have that. Let me show you how strong it is, though, really real quick. I mean, that's 3 hits, and that's the 4th one. But yeah, I'll leave this up for a second and just point to it there, or have that on it, I guess, rather. So yeah, that's the spot there. I won't show you the rest because I don't want to ruin it. But all you have to do is, like I said, get the insect hammer, go over there, pop it open, and then crawl inside, and you'll find some mints. But it's pretty neat. So here we go, finally. So here's a grub, and I'll show you how to get this. All you have to do is kind of crouch, dig it into the ground there. It'll pop out, hit it once, and then get all its parts, and that's it. So you don't see them all that often, but then when you do, yeah, that'll be, all you have to do. It's pretty simple, but having the shovel is a big thing. I haven't found a way to get them out of the ground otherwise. I tried with the spear and every weapon, and they wouldn't come out unless I had that. So yeah, so that's that. Guys, as always, thank you all for watching, and then if you have any questions or anything you want me to cover further or anything like that, feel free to leave it in the comments, and I will try my best to cover it and answer any questions that you have. Oh, actually, before that, I wanted to give a shout out to Spiffy Dude 89 on Reddit. He was the guy that told me about the mint hammer and how you go about that. So big shout out to him for doing that, because it is a substantial weapon, and I highly suggest that you get it sooner rather than later, because it makes a lot of the fights quite a bit easier. So yeah, big thanks to him. And another thing, I guess one last quick thing. I know I said I was wrapping it up. I guess 2 things I forgot. I'm looking at the list here. So as far as I can tell, the map doesn't despawn items. So that's a big thing, is try to pick up stuff if you can, and then just trash it if you don't need it. More specifically, like the vines and stuff, because it will sort of affect performance eventually if there's just stuff laying around everywhere. And the other thing is, if you're having any kind of performance issues, from what there's not too many display settings here, but motion blur was the biggest one. Turning it down seemed to increase frame rate for everybody from what I'm hearing. So that's that. Another just quick little thing. But yeah, like I said, thanks for watching, everybody. And again, leave a comment or anything if you have any questions or anything else. Goodbye. There's also a cool little Easter egg in the bottom of the lake here, but I'm not going to show you that. Just so you can find it yourself. I don't want to ruin it for you. It was cool when I found it, so I'd like to hopefully keep it cool for y'all.